I never thought I'd be the kind of person to betray family. That's what I told myself every single day of my life. Family first. Blood is thicker than water. All those sayings our dad drilled into us since we were kids. But I guess I also never thought I'd catch my own brother with his hands literally in our dying father's safe. Let me back up. My name's Connor. I'm 34, married to Sarah for 6 years, 2 kids. My brother Marcus is 37, divorced, 1 daughter he barely sees. We grew up middle class in Ohio. Dad built a successful contracting business from nothing. Mom died when I was 19. Dad remarried Linda 2 years later, but she passed from cancer in 2019. After that, it was just Dad, me, and Marcus. Dad got diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer in September. By November, the doctor said weeks, maybe a month. We moved him to in-home hospice care at his house, the house we grew up in. Sarah and I had been taking turns staying there, helping the nurses, making sure he was comfortable. Marcus showed up occasionally. Always had an excuse about work, about his ex causing problems, about traffic. The thing about watching someone die slowly is that it strips away all the pretense. You see who really shows up. Who really cares. Marcus had always been a golden child, the firstborn, Dad's little clone. But when it mattered, he was a ghost. It was a Tuesday evening, around 7 p.m. I'd left the house earlier to pick up Dad's adjusted pain medications, told the hospice nurse I'd be back in 45 minutes. Sarah was home with our kids. The pharmacy was slower than expected, so I got back in maybe 30 minutes instead. The house was quiet when I walked in. Too quiet. Dad's bedroom was upstairs. The hospice nurse should have been up there with him. But I heard movement coming from Dad's office, the small room off the living room where he kept all his business files, personal documents. The door was half open, light spilling out. I walked over, expecting maybe the nurse was looking for some paperwork. And there was Marcus, my brother, standing at Dad's open safe, cash in both hands, stuffing bills into the inside pockets of his jacket. I stood there frozen for maybe 3 seconds. My brain couldn't process it, couldn't make it make sense. Marcus? He spun around so fast he dropped a stack of hundreds. His face went white, then red, then this weird gray color. His mouth opened and closed like a fish. Connor. I thought you were? You're stealing from Dad. I said it out loud because I needed to hear it. Needed to confirm what my eyes were seeing was real. No, man, it's not like that. He held up his hands like I was pointing a gun at him. Some of the bills fluttered to the floor. Dad said I could have this. He told me I could take some cash for expenses. I looked at the safe. It was one of those old school combination types Dad had installed in the wall behind a fake panel. He'd shown both of us the combination years ago. In case something happens to me, you boys need to know where everything is. The safe was nearly empty. I could see Dad's will, some bonds, his passport. But the cash he'd kept for emergencies, probably $15,000 or $20,000, was mostly gone. When did Dad tell you that? My voice sounded weird. Distant. When exactly did he tell you to clean out his safe while he's upstairs dying? Last week. He was lucid for a bit well, the word came out hard. Dad hasn't been lucid enough to have that conversation in 2 weeks. The morphine dose won't even let him stay awake for more than 10 minutes. Marcus's face changed. The panic shifted into something else. Something defensive and ugly. You don't know what he said to me. You're not here all the time. Neither are you. I was shouting now. Couldn't help it. You show up once every 3 days for 20 minutes, and when you do come, you're stealing from him. It's not stealing. It's my inheritance. I'm just taking it early. The words hit me like a physical blow. I actually stepped back. Your inheritance? Dad's not even dead yet. He will be soon. Marcus said it so casually, so matter-of-factly, like he was talking about the weather. What difference does it make? The money's going to me and you anyway. This way, I can handle some debts before. Before what? Before Dad dies and you have to pretend to be sad at his funeral? He flinched. Good. You don't understand the pressure I'm under, Marcus said. His voice was rising now too. Kelly's lawyer is destroying me in court. The child support, the alimony, my business is bleeding money. I need this, Connor. I need it. I stared at my brother. Really looked at him. When did he become this person? Or had he always been this person and I just never wanted to see it? How much did you take? He didn't answer. How much, Marcus? 12,000. Maybe 13. And this isn't the first time, is it? The silence told me everything. Oh my God. I felt sick. Actually nauseated. How long have you been stealing from Dad? I haven't been stealing. I've been borrowing. He would have given it to me if I asked, but he wasn't in any state to. So you just took it. While he's upstairs dying. While he's barely conscious. You've been rifling through his safe like a common thief. Don't you dare judge me. Marcus's voice went cold. You have no idea what my life is like. You've got your perfect little wife, your perfect little house, your perfect little kids. Everything's always been easier for you. I almost laughed. Would have if it wasn't so insane. Easier? Dad put you through college. He gave you the seed money to start your business. When you got divorced, he paid for your lawyer. But sure, I'm the one who had it easy. He liked you better, Marcus said, and for a second, he sounded like a child. A bitter, angry child. Everyone always liked you better. The responsible one. The good son. Well, I'm tired of it, Connor. I'm tired of barely scraping by while the old man sits on a pile of cash he's never going to use. He's our father. He's dying. Marcus zipped up his jacket. The jacket full of our father's money. And when he's gone, this all gets split anyway. I'm just accelerating the timeline. He moved toward the door. I blocked him. You're not leaving with that money. Get out of my way, Connor. Give it back. Right now. For a moment, I thought he might actually swing at me. We hadn't fought, really physically fought, since we were teenagers. But I saw his hand curl into a fist. Then the doorbell rang. We both froze. I'd forgotten the nurse had stepped out to get dinner from her car. She must have locked herself out. The moment broke. Marcus shoved past me, not quite hard enough to knock me down but hard enough to make his point. He walked straight through the living room, past the front door where the nurse was knocking, and out through the back door to the garage. I heard his car start. Heard him pull away. The nurse came in through the front. Sorry, my keys fell under the seat. Mr. Connor, are you all right? You look pale. I'm fine, I lied. How's Dad? Resting. His vitals are stable. I nodded. Went back to the office. Stared at the open safe, the scattered bills on the floor. Picked them up with shaking hands. Counted what was left. $3,200. Out of what should have been maybe $18,000. My brother had been stealing from our dying father. And somehow, the worst part was, I knew if I confronted him about it tomorrow, he'd convinced himself he'd done nothing wrong. That he was the victim. That circumstances justified it. I sat down in Dad's office chair. The leather was worn where he used to sit every evening doing paperwork. I could still smell his cologne faintly in the room. And I cried. Just sat there and cried because my brother had shown me exactly who he was, and I'd never be able to unsee it. I didn't tell Sarah that night. I sat next to his bed and held his hand. His skin was paper thin, cold. I'm sorry, Dad, I whispered. I'm so sorry. He didn't wake up. Probably couldn't hear me anyway. But I needed to say it. Needed to apologize for not protecting him from his own son. I didn't sleep that night. Just laid in bed next to Sarah, staring at the ceiling, replaying the scene over and over. My brother's hands in the safe. Way he justified it like taking money from our dying father was just some clever financial planning. Sarah knew something was wrong. She always knows. Kiner? What happened at your dad's house? I almost told her. The words were right there. But I couldn't make them come out. Because saying it out loud would make it real. Would make it something we'd have to deal with. Just a long night, I said. Dad's getting worse. She held my hand in the dark. I'm sorry, baby. Do you want me to come with you tomorrow? No. Stay with the kids. I'll be okay. Another lie. I was getting good at those. The next morning, I drove back to Dad's house at 6 a.m. I barely pulled into the driveway when my phone rang. Marcus. I stared at his name on the screen. Let it ring 4 times before I answered. What? Connor, we need to talk about yesterday. You mean when you were stealing from Dad? Silence. Then, I wasn't stealing. I already explained that. No, you made excuses. That's different. Look. His voice had that edge to it, that tone he always used when he wanted something. I know how it looked. I know it was bad timing. But I'm in serious trouble, Connor. Kelly's lawyer is threatening to take me back to court. I'm 3 months behind on child support. They could put me in jail. So steal from someone else. He's my father too. That money is going to be mine eventually anyway. Eventually isn't now. Eventually is after he's dead. You couldn't even wait for that. You're being dramatic. Something snapped in me. Just completely broke. Dramatic? Our father is dying, Marcus. He's upstairs right now, probably got a week left if we're lucky, and you're treating his safe like an ATM. Do you even care that he's dying? Do you care about anything except money? Of course I care. But being sad doesn't pay my bills. I sat in my car, phone pressed to my ear, and wondered if I'd ever actually known my brother at all. How much have you taken total? And don't lie to me. I'll figure it out anyway. He hesitated. Maybe 30,000. Over the last 2 months. My stomach dropped. 30,000. He'd been systematically stealing from Dad since right after the diagnosis. Does Dad know? How could he know? He can barely stay awake. That's not an answer. Marcus sighed, like I was the one being unreasonable. Before he got really bad, he asked me about some missing cash. I told him he probably moved it and forgot. The cancer was already messing with his memory. You let him think he was losing his mind. Our dying father thought he was going crazy because you were stealing from him. I didn't let him think anything. I just didn't correct his assumption. That's the same thing, Marcus. No, it's not. Look, are you going to tell him? The question hung there, heavy and terrible. He's dying, Marcus continued. What's the point of upsetting him now? Let him go in peace. After he's gone, we'll settle the estate, and I'll pay back what I owe from my share. Nobody has to know. Oh no. Connor, please. I'm begging you. I made a mistake, okay? I was desperate. But if you tell Dad, if you tell Sarah or the hospice people or anyone, it'll destroy what's left of our family. Is that what you want? Dad's last days filled with police and lawyers and fighting? He was good. Had to give him that. He knew exactly which buttons to push. I need time to think, I said. Thank you. Thank you, Connor. I knew you'd understand. You're a good brother. You always have been. I hung up before he could say anything else. I spent the morning with Dad. He woke up around 10, groggy and confused. The nurse helped him take some ice chips. He looked at me and for a second, didn't recognize me. Then his eyes focused. Kiner? That you, buddy? Yeah, Dad. It's me. Where's Marcus? The question felt like a knife. He'll be by later. Dad nodded slowly. Good. Good. You boys. You'll look after each other, right? After I'm gone? I couldn't speak. Just nodded. That's all I want, Dad whispered. My boys. Together. Family. He fell back asleep 30 seconds later. I went downstairs and called our family lawyer, Tom Brennan. He'd handled Dad's will, knew the whole estate set up. Connor, how's your father doing? Not good, Tom. Maybe a week. But I need to ask you something. Hypothetically. All right. If someone was stealing from Dad's safe, from his cash reserves, would that affect the will? The estate distribution? Long pause. Stealing? Connor, what's going on? I told him. All of it. Marcus, the safe, the $30,000, the lies. Tom was quiet for a long time after I finished. This is serious, Connor. This is elder abuse. Financial exploitation. If your father was still competent when it started, Marcus could face criminal charges. He wasn't competent. The cancer had already spread to his brain when Marcus started taking the money. Then it's even worse. That's exploitation of a vulnerable adult. The estate could file a civil suit, force Marcus to return everything with penalties. And depending on the will structure, he could be removed as a beneficiary entirely. My head was spinning. Removed? Most wills have clauses about beneficiaries who commit crimes against the testator. Your father's will has such a clause. If Marcus stole from him, he could forfeit his entire inheritance. Everything. Marcus could lose everything. Tom, what should I do? You need to document everything. Check bank statements, safe inventory, anything that shows how much is missing. And Connor? You need to tell your father. He has a right to know. He's dying. He's got days left. And those are his days, Connor. His money. His choice what to do about it. You can't make the decision for him. I knew he was right. Hated that he was right. That evening, I went through Dad's office. Found his ledger where he tracked his cash reserves. He was old school, wrote everything down. The math was damning. Dad should have had $68,000 in the safe. There was $3,200 left. $64,800. Gone. Marcus hadn't taken $30,000. He'd taken over $60,000. He'd lied even when he was confessing. I found deposit slips too, tucked in a drawer. Marcus's name on them. He'd been depositing Dad's cash into his own account, sometimes 5,000 at a time. Probably thought that staying under 10,000 would avoid triggering bank reports. He'd been planning this. This wasn't desperation. This was premeditated theft. My phone rang. Sarah. Hey, Connor. Marcus just called me. My blood went cold. What did he say? He said you guys had a fight yesterday. That Jerep said about Dad's will, that you think Marcus is getting more than you. He wanted me to talk to you, calm you down. Connor, what's really going on? And there it was. Marcus's next move. Get ahead of the story. Make me look like the jealous, unstable brother before I could tell anyone the truth. Sarah, I need to come home. We need to talk. You're scaring me. I know. I'm sorry. I'll be there in 20 minutes. I told Sarah everything. Showed her the ledger, the deposit slips, the photos I'd taken of the nearly empty safe. Watched her face go from confused to horrified to angry. He stole from your dying father. Yeah. And then he called me to make you look crazy. Yeah. Sarah stood up, paced our kitchen. What are you going to do? I don't know. Tom says I should tell Dad. Let him decide what to do. But Marcus said that would destroy his last days. Marcus is a liar, Sarah. He lied about how much he took. He's lying about everything. I don't trust a word out of his mouth anymore. She came and hugged me. I realized I was shaking. Do what you need to do, she said. Whatever you decide, I'm with you. I decided to tell Dad. Not because I wanted to, but because Tom was right. They were Dad's days. His money. His choice. The next morning, I went to his house early. Asked the hospice nurse for privacy. She stepped out. Dad was awake, sort of. More alert than he'd been in days. The nurse said sometimes that happens near the end. One last burst of clarity before everything shuts down. Dad? You awake? Hey, kiddo. His voice was thin but present. What's wrong? You look upset. I pulled a chair next to his bed, took his hand. Dad, I need to tell you something. It's about Marcus. His face changed. Is he okay? Physically, yeah. But Dad, he's been taking money from your safe. A lot of money. I watched my father process this. Watched the confusion, then the understanding, then the pain washed across his face. How much? Almost $65,000. Dad closed his eyes. A single tear ran down his cheek. I knew, he whispered. Part of me knew. But I thought maybe I was confused. The medication. The cancer. Marcus said I was forgetting things. He lied to you, Dad. He made you think you were losing your mind to cover up what he was doing. Dad was crying now, silently, his whole body shaking with it. Why? His voice broke. Why would he do that? He says he needed the money. Child support. Business debts. He says he was going to pay it back from his inheritance. After I'm dead. Yeah, after you're dead. Dad opened his eyes. Looked at me with more clarity than I'd seen in weeks. Connor, I need you to do something for me. Anything. Call Tom Brennan. Tell him to come here. Today. I want to change my will. Dad, are you sure? You don't have to. He stole from me. While I'm dying. While I couldn't protect myself. He let me think I was crazy. Dad's voice was getting stronger, angry. What kind of son is that? What kind of person? I don't know. I'm leaving everything to you, Connor. Marcus gets nothing. Not a dollar. Not a photograph. Nothing. Dad? This is my choice. My money. My last decision. Let me make it. Tom arrived 2 hours later. Brought 2 witnesses. Drew up a new will right there in Dad's hospice room. Dad was lucid enough to sign, to understand what he was doing. Tom made sure every legal requirement was met. By noon, it was done. Dad's entire estate, everything he'd built, was now coming to me. Marcus was explicitly excluded and disinherited. There's one more thing, Dad said after Tom left. I want you to call Marcus. Tell him to come here. Tonight. I want to see him. Dad, I don't think that's a good idea. I need to look my son in the eye one more time. I need to tell him what he is. I made the call. Told Marcus Dad wanted to see him. Didn't tell him why. Marcus said he'd be there at 7. Marcus showed up at 6:45. I met him at the door. Is Dad okay? You sounded weird on the phone. He wants to talk to you. About what? You'll see. We walked upstairs. The hospice nurse had given Dad some extra medication to manage the pain but keep him alert. He was propped up in bed, waiting. Marcus walked in, plastered his concerned son expression on his face. Hey, Dad. How you feeling? Disappointed. The word hung in the air like smoke. Marcus's smile faltered. What? I know what you did, Marcus. Connor told me. About the money. The blood drained from Marcus's face. He turned to me, betrayal and rage in his eyes. You told him? I asked you not to tell him. And I decided he had a right to know. Dad, listen, it's not what it sounds like. I can explain. You stole from me. Dad's voice was weak but clear. You stole from me while I was dying. You made me think I was losing my mind. You looked me in the eye and lied. I was going to pay it back. I swear, Dad, I was. Get out. Marcus stopped mid-sentence. What? Get out of my house. Out of my room. I don't want you here. Dad, please. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You're sorry you got caught. That's all. Dad's breathing was getting labored. The stress was too much. I changed my old today. You're getting nothing. Everything goes to Connor. You understand? Nothing. Marcus looked like he'd been punched. Staggered back a step. You can. Dad, I'm your son. A real son doesn't steal from his dying father. Now get out before I have Connor throw you out. Marcus looked at me. I stared back. Didn't move. This is your fault, Marcus said to me. His voice was shaking. You poisoned him against me. You always were jealous. Always wanted to be the favorite. Leave, Marcus. You're going to regret this. Both of you. He stormed out. Slammed the front door hard enough that I heard something fall off a shelf downstairs. Dad was crying again. Gasping for air. The nurse came running in. Gave him oxygen. Checked his vitals. I'm sorry, Dad whispered to me. I'm sorry I didn't see it sooner. I'm sorry you had to be the one to tell me. It's not your fault, Dad. I raised him. Something I did made him think this was okay. You did everything right. Marcus made his own choices. Dad fell asleep soon after. The confrontation had drained him. The nurse said his body was starting to shut down. Days now. Maybe hours. I called Sarah. Told her what happened. She said she'd pack bags for her and the kids, come stay at Dad's house. Then I sat in Dad's office and waited for what I knew was coming. Marcus's first text came at 9 p.m. This isn't over. Then at 10 p.m., you turned him against me. 11 p.m., I'll contest the will. I'll sue. You won't get away with this. Midnight, how does it feel to destroy your own brother? I didn't respond to any of them. At 2 a.m., my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. You self-righteous piece of garbage. Marcus was drunk. Slurring. You couldn't just let it go. You had to ruin everything. You ruined it yourself, Marcus. I needed that money. Do you understand? I'm going to lose my business. I'm going to lose everything. And you just threw me away. Your own brother. You stole from our dying father. He was going to die anyway. The money wasn't doing him any good. Listen to yourself. Just listen to what you're saying. I hate you, Marcus said. And he meant it. I could hear it in his voice. I hope you choke on Dad's money. I hope it ruins your life the way you ruined mine. He hung up. I sat in the dark of Dad's office, phone in my hand, and realized my brother and I would never speak again. Not really. Maybe at the funeral. Maybe in the courtroom if he actually tried to contest the will. But we were done. Finished. Family was supposed to be forever. But sometimes forever ends while people are still breathing. Dad died 3 days later. Sarah and the kids were there. The hospice nurse was there. I was holding his hand. Marcus wasn't there. I'd called him, told him it was time. He didn't show up. Didn't call back. Didn't text. Our father died and Marcus couldn't even be bothered to say goodbye. The funeral was on a gray Thursday in December. Cold rain, the kind that seeps into your bones and stays there. I'd arranged everything. The service, the flowers, the burial plot next to Mom and Linda. Wrote the obituary. Called all of Dad's old friends and business associates. Did it all while Marcus sent me lawyer letters about contesting the will. He showed up to the funeral. Of course he did. Had to play the grieving son for the crowd. He wore one of Dad's old ties. I recognized it immediately. Navy blue with thin gold stripes. Dad wore to my wedding. Seeing it around Marcus's neck made me want to throw up. We didn't speak during the viewing. Marcus stood on one side of the room. I stood on the other. People who knew us, who knew our family, could feel the tension. Kept asking me quietly if everything was okay. I just nodded and said grief affects everyone differently. Sarah stayed close to me the entire time. My kids, Emma who's 8 and Jake who's 6, Kept asking why Uncle Marcus wouldn't talk to us. I didn't have an answer they'd understand. The service was at 2 p.m. I gave the eulogy. Talked about Dad's work ethic, his integrity, how he built something from nothing and never compromised his values. Talked about how he taught us that family meant taking care of each other, protecting each other. I saw Marcus in the third row, jaw clenched, face red. He knew every word was meant for him. After the service, at the burial, Marcus finally approached me, grabbed my arm as I was walking away from the grave. "We need to talk. Not here. Not now." "When? Connor? When are you going to stop hiding behind Dad's corpse and face me?" People were staring. I pulled my arm free. "You want to do this here? Fine. What do you want, Marcus?" "I want what's mine. I want my half of the estate." "You don't have a half." Dad made that very clear. He wasn't in his right mind. The medication, the cancer, you manipulated him when he was vulnerable. I told him the truth. That's not manipulation. You turned him against his own son in his final days. That's elder abuse, Connor. My lawyer says we have grounds too. Your lawyer can say whatever you're paying him to say. Doesn't make it true. Dad was evaluated by Tom Brennan. He was competent. He understood exactly what he was doing. Marcus stepped closer. Close enough that I could smell the whiskey on his breath. "You know what I think? I think you wanted this. I think you've been waiting for a chance to cut me out since we were kids. Dad's favorite finally gets everything. Dad didn't have a favorite. He loved us both. Until you stole from him. I borrowed from him." He was shouting now. Everyone at the burial had stopped talking. All eyes on us. "You need to leave," I said quietly. "You need to walk away before you embarrass yourself more than you already have." "Or what? You'll call the cops? Have your own brother arrested at your father's funeral? That would look great, Connor. Really show everyone what a good person you are." Sarah appeared at my side. "Marcus, please. Not here. Not today." He laughed. Bitter and sharp. "Oh, Sarah. Sweet Sarah. Do you know what your husband did? He destroyed our family. He poisoned a dying man against his own son for money." "He told the truth," Sarah said. Her voice was ice. "Something you should try sometime." Marcus's face twisted. "You'll regret this. Both of you. I'm going to fight this will until I win or you're broke from legal fees. Whichever comes first." He walked away, got in his car and drove off, leaving the burial before it was even finished. My dad's best friend, Joe, came over and put a hand on my shoulder. "Your father told me what happened last time I visited him. I'm sorry, son. I'm sorry you're going through this." "Thanks, Joe. For what it's worth, your dad made the right call, and so did you." I nodded because I couldn't speak. Couldn't trust my voice. The estate process took months. Marcus filed to contest the will like he promised. His lawyer argued Dad was mentally incompetent, that I'd exerted undue influence, that the will change was too close to Dad's death to be valid. Tom Brennan destroyed every argument. Presented the hospice nurse's notes showing Dad's lucidity, the medical evaluations, Dad's written statement explaining why he changed the will, the ledger showing the missing money, Marcus's bank records with the deposits. In the end, the judge didn't just uphold Dad's will. He ordered Marcus to return all the stolen money to the estate with interest. $64,800 plus $6,000 in interest and penalties. $70,800 total. Marcus didn't have it. His business had collapsed. He'd spent Dad's money trying to save it and failed anyway. The court put a lien on everything he owned. His house, his car, his business equipment. He filed for bankruptcy 3 months later. I should have felt vindicated. Should have felt like justice was served. Instead, I just felt empty. Life moved on the way it always does. Sarah and I used some of Dad's money to pay off our mortgage, set up college funds for Emma and Jake. I donated a chunk to the hospice organization that took care of Dad. Invested the rest. I took over Dad's contracting business. It felt right, keeping his legacy alive. The crews were happy to have me. They'd all heard about Marcus, about what he'd done. None of them wanted to work for him anyway. 6 months after the funeral, I was at a home improvement store buying supplies for a job. Turned a corner in the lumber section and nearly walked straight into Marcus. We both froze. He looked terrible. Thinner, older, gray in his hair that wasn't there before. Wearing work clothes that had seen better days. "Connor." His voice was flat. Empty. "Marcus." Silence stretched between us. Years of history, of brotherhood, reduced to 2 names and nothing else to say. "I'm working construction now," he finally said. Framing crew. It's honest work. That's good. Lost the business, the house, everything. He wasn't looking at me. Was staring at the floor. Kelly got full custody. I see my daughter every other weekend. She barely knows me anymore. I didn't know what to say. Couldn't find words that fit. I'm still paying back what the court ordered. $100 a week. It'll take me 13 years at this rate. Marcus, don't. He looked up at me then. His eyes were different. Hollowed out. Don't feel sorry for me. Don't try to help. I don't want it. I wasn't going to. Yes, you were? Because you're the good son. The one who does the right thing. The one Dad actually loved. That's not true. Dad loved you. You just. I know what I did, Connor. His voice cracked. I know exactly what I did and what it cost me. I don't need you to remind me. He walked past me, grabbed what he needed and left. I stood there in the lumber aisle for 5 minutes, unable to move. Emma asked me about Uncle Marcus a few months later. She'd found an old photo album, pictures of Marcus and me as kids. Brothers. Best friends once. Why don't we see Uncle Marcus anymore? How do you explain betrayal to an 8-year-old? How do you tell your daughter that sometimes people you love hurt you so badly there's no coming back from it? Uncle Marcus made some bad choices, I said carefully. And those choices hurt our family. But you're brothers. Brothers are supposed to forgive each other. Sometimes, sweetie. But sometimes the hurt is too big. Do you miss him? The question hit me harder than I expected. Yeah, I admitted. I miss who he used to be. Or who I thought he was. That's sad, Daddy. Yeah, baby. It really is. She hugged me. Went back to playing with her brother. And I sat there thinking about the brother I used to have. The one who helped me build forts when we were kids. Who taught me how to throw a baseball. Who stood next to me at Mom's funeral and held my hand because I was 19 and couldn't stop crying. That brother died somewhere along the way. Maybe years before Dad got sick. Maybe the person I thought Marcus was never really existed at all. I saw him one more time after that. 2 years later, I was visiting Dad's grave on the anniversary of his death. Brought flowers. Told him about the kids, about the business, about Sarah's promotion at work. Things he would have wanted to know. When I stood to leave, Marcus was standing 20 feet away. Watching. Waiting. We stared at each other across dead grass and gravestones. He looked a little better. Still thin, still tired, but cleaner. More put together. I come here sometimes, he said, to talk to him. To apologize. I nodded. Didn't know what else to do. I'm sorry, Connor. The words came out rough. Unpracticed. For what I did. For all of it. I was drowning and I grabbed onto anything to stay afloat. Including things that weren't mine to take. Okay. I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't forgive me. But I needed you to know that I understand now. What I destroyed. What I threw away. What do you want me to say, Marcus? Nothing. I don't want anything from you. He looked at Dad's headstone. I just wanted him to know I'm sorry. And I wanted you to know too. He started to walk away. Marcus. I called after him. He stopped. Are you doing okay? He turned around. Gave me this sad, broken smile. No. But I'm still here. Still trying. That's something. Yeah. It's something. He left. I watched him go, this stranger who used to be my brother, and felt the weight of everything we've lost. People at work sometimes ask me about my family. If I have any siblings. I usually say I'm an only child now. It's easier than explaining. Sarah knows better. She sees me sometimes, looking at old photos, and knows what I'm thinking about. She doesn't push, just holds my hand and lets me feel whatever I need to feel. Emma and Jake don't ask about Uncle Marcus anymore. He's become this distant figure. Someone who existed once but doesn't anymore. Like a character from a story that ended badly. The business is doing well, better than when Dad ran it. I've hired good people, expanded into commercial work, built something I'm proud of. Sometimes I wonder if Dad would be proud too, if he'd be happy with what I did with his legacy. Other times I wonder if I should have tried harder with Marcus, if there was some middle ground where I could have protected Dad but not lost my brother, if I could have found a way to fix it. But that's the thing about betrayal. It doesn't offer middle ground. It doesn't offer second chances when the trust is shattered that completely. Marcus made his choice when he put his hands in that safe. When he lied to our dying father. When he chose money over family, over decency, over everything Dad tried to teach us. And I made my choice when I told Dad the truth. Neither of us can unmake those choices. We just have to live with them. Last month, I got a letter. Handwritten. My name on the envelope in Marcus's messy scroll. I almost threw it away without opening it. Sarah said I should at least read it. Make an informed decision. Inside was a single page. Connor. I'm writing this because my therapist says I need closure. Says I need to acknowledge what I did and take real responsibility. So here it is. I stole from Dad. Not borrowed. Stole. I knew he was dying and I stole from him anyway because I needed money more than I needed integrity. I let him think he was losing his mind to cover it up. And when you caught me, I tried to manipulate everyone around me into thinking you were the problem. I destroyed our family. Not you. Me. I think about Dad every day. About his face when you told him what I'd done. About how he died without forgiving me. I'll carry that until the day I die. I think about you too. About the brother I used to have. The one who looked up to me when we were kids. The one I was supposed to protect and support. I threw that away for money I didn't even get to keep. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm not asking for anything. I just needed you to know that I understand what I did. I understand what it cost. And I'm sorry. I hope you're happy. I hope your kids are healthy. I hope you built a good life with the pieces I left behind. I hope someday I can look at myself in the mirror without seeing what I really am. Marcus. I read it 3 times. Then I folded it up and put it in the back of my desk drawer. Sarah asked if I was going to respond. I didn't know. Still don't. What do you say to that? What words exist that can bridge the gap between who we were and who we became? Sometimes late at night, when I can't sleep, I go into my home office and look at the photo I'm found. Marcus and me at ages 10 and 13. His arm around my shoulders. Both of us grinning at the camera. Brothers. I try to remember what that felt like. Being brothers. Being family. Having someone who was supposed to be there no matter what. But all I can see is him standing in Dad's office, hands full of stolen money, trying to justify the unjustifiable. All I can hear is Dad crying, asking why would he do that? All I can feel is the weight of being the one who had to choose between truth and family, between protecting my father and protecting my brother, between doing what was right and keeping what was left of us together. I made my choice. I'd make it again. But that doesn't mean it didn't cost me something. Doesn't mean I didn't lose something I can never get back. People talk about family like it's this unbreakable bond. Like blood makes you invincible to betrayal. Like love conquers all. They're wrong. Family can break. Blood doesn't stop betrayal. And sometimes love isn't enough to overcome what people choose to do to each other. My brother taught me that. I went to Dad's grave last week. Alone this time. Told him about Marcus's letter. Asked him what I should do. The wind blew cold across the cemetery. Dead leaves skittered across the grass. No answer came because dead men don't speak. But I think I know what Dad would say. The same thing he said when he changed his will. This is my choice. My decision. Let me make it. So I'm making mine. I'm not responding to Marcus's letter. I'm not opening the door back up. I'm not giving him another chance to hurt me or my family. Not because I'm cruel. Not because I can't forgive. But because some bridges, once burned, should stay ash. Because trust, once shattered, can't be glued back together with apologies and therapy letters. Because I have a wife and kids who need me whole, not broken by trying to fix someone who proved they couldn't be fixed. Marcus lost the right to be my brother when he stole from our dying father. He lost the right to be in my life when he chose money over everything we were supposed to be. And I lost a brother when I caught him in that office, hands in that safe, excuses already forming on his lips. We both lost something that night. The difference is, I lost it trying to do the right thing. He lost it by doing the worst possible thing. Emma asked me again last night if brothers are supposed to forgive each other. I told her the truth this time. Sometimes, I said, people hurt you so badly that forgiveness would mean forgetting who you are, would mean accepting that it's okay to be hurt that way. And that's not forgiveness, sweetie. That's just giving someone permission to hurt you again. So you don't forgive Uncle Marcus? No, baby. I don't. Does that make you sad? I thought about it. Really thought about it. Yeah, I admit it. It makes me sad. But sadness is better than being betrayed again. She hugged me. Told me I'm the best daddy in the world. Went to bed not understanding yet that someday, she might have to make a choice like mine. I hope she never does. I hope she never knows what it's like to watch someone you love choose themselves over you, over family, over everything that's supposed to matter. But if she does, I hope she remembers what I told her. I hope she knows that protecting yourself from people who hurt you isn't cruel. It's survival. So that's my story. That's how I lost my brother while he was still breathing. That's how family ended while both of us were still alive. I don't know where Marcus is now. Don't know if he's still working construction, still going to therapy, still paying back the money he stole. Don't know if he ever found a way to forgive himself. Don't particularly care. That probably makes me sound cold. Maybe I am. Maybe watching your brother steal from your dying father does that to you. Maybe choosing truth over family changes you in ways you can't come back from. Or maybe I'm exactly the same as I always was. Same person who told Dad the truth because it was the right thing to do. Same person who protected what mattered even when it cost me everything else. I've built a good life from the ruins Marcus left behind. My kids are happy. My wife loves me. The business thrives. I have friends, respect in the community, a future I can be proud of. But late at night, in the quiet hours when sleep won't come, I still see him. Standing in that office, hands full of money, eyes full of excuses. And I still hear Dad crying, asking why his son would do that to him. Those are the moments that stay with you, that burrow into your bones and make a home there, that remind you what betrayal actually costs. Not just the money, not just the inheritance or the business or the material things. The cost is knowing that the person you thought you knew never existed at all. The cost is losing your history, your childhood, every memory that had them in it. The cost is explaining to your kids why they don't have an uncle anymore. The cost is standing at your father's grave and knowing his last days were poisoned by his own son's greed. That's what Marcus took, not just $64,000. He took every good memory I had of us. Took my brother. Took the future where we grew old together and our kids were cousins and family meant something. He took all of it and traded it for money he didn't even get to keep. If you're reading this and you're thinking about doing something similar, something you know is wrong but you're justifying because you need it, because circumstances force you, because nobody will find out. Stop. Stop and look at what you're really about to do. Not just the action, the cost. Because once you cross that line, once you betray someone who trusts you, you can't uncross it. You can apologize. You can pay it back. You can spend the rest of your life trying to make amends. But you can't undo it. You can't unfracture trust. You can't unknow what you're capable of. And everyone around you will never look at you the same way again. Because they'll know too. They'll know that when things got hard, when you needed something, you chose yourself over them. Over love. Over family. Over everything that's supposed to matter. Marcus learned that lesson too late. Lost everything learning it. Marcus learned that lesson too late. Lost everything learning it. I learned it watching him. And I learned that sometimes the right choice is the one that breaks your heart. My father died knowing one of his sons stole from him. Died knowing his family was fractured beyond repair. Died without the peace he deserved because Marcus couldn't wait for him to be dead before taking what he wanted. That's the real cost. Not the money. The peace. The dignity. The love. Marcus stole all of that. And in doing so, he stole himself too. Stole the person he could have been. The brother I could have had. The uncle my kids deserved. He's still out there somewhere, living with what he did. And I'm here, living with what he made me do. Neither of us won. We both just lost different things. But at least I can still look at myself in the mirror. Can still tell my kids stories about their grandfather without choking on lies. Can still visit his grave without drowning in shame. Marcus can't do any of that. And he never will. That's his prison. One he built himself. One brick of betrayal at a time, in the home office of our dying father. And me? I'm the warden now, keeping the door closed, keeping him out, protecting what's left of the family he destroyed. It's not the ending I wanted. Not the story I thought we'd have. But it's the one his choices wrote. I just had to be strong enough to let him face it alone, the way he left Dad to face death alone while he counted stolen money.